What's going on, everybody? So the situation in the Ukraine continues to get worse and worse, as I predicted in my last video, and right now we are in a very scary game of chicken, of who's going to blink first. Are we going to let the Ukraine get taken over and let Russia win, or are we going to intervene? That is the $100 million question. And I just don't see it happening for the Ukraine. I know there's a lot of stuff on Reddit and on Twitter of like the Ukrainians fighting back, and it's cute. Like, that's really the best word for it. It's cute, but Russia is starting to go, like, this thing hasn't started yet. That's what I keep trying to tell people. Like, oh yeah, there's wars. Like, Russia really hasn't done anything serious yet, and it's still not great. They have just started the process of cutting off all the power to all the cities, starving them out, cutting off the sewer, electricity, water. Like, they haven't even really started to starve these people out until about today. So though this thing has just started, they just started shelling the cities for long periods of time. They started shelling. One of the cities has been getting shelled for 28 hours. Guys, like that this is what it's going to be. Like, it's only just starting. So it would take a miracle for the Ukraine to win this thing on their own. I am not expecting that whatsoever. I know the Russian sanctions have been brutal. The Roblox currency is worth more than the Russian ruble by like a lot right now. The Russian ruble's worth like damn near 50 cents probably at this point. They keep cutting off all the exchanges to like stop people from selling everything. You can't. One of the craziest things I saw was that if you get paid in U.S. dollars, you have to convert it to rubles. 80% of it has to get converted to rubles. It's wild, absolutely wild to be living in Russia right now. I genuinely feel bad for people living in both Russia and the Ukraine. That's kind of insane. But anyway, here's why this is scary. Because you got to think about Vladimir Putin as the man, the guy pulling the strings. What's his play? Like, what is he doing this for? Vladimir Putin is probably the richest, if not one of the richest, easily, people in the entire world. If you account for all the things he has control over, obviously it's not official. Many, like Jeff Bezos, while he's officially the richest person in the world, there are, people in Saudi Arabia and these effectively monarchs of the modern world that have much more wealth than he does effectively. So Vladimir Putin is absolutely one of these people. Vladimir Putin has everything he could ever want, and everything from now until forever. He could have everything he ever wanted. So what is he doing this for? And the answer is legacy. He's old. He knows he's not going to be around forever. And what are you at the end of the day but your legacy? He wants a place in the history books. He wants to make his mark on the world. And I think that's all this is, and that is very terrifying because how do you really reason with that? You can't really be logical if that's the play, especially in the situation with Russia. Like, the best way for him to leave his legacy would be to bring back the glory days of Soviet Russia. It's just that, like, that's the obvious play, right? I mean, who knows? Nobody's in his head, but I feel like that's what's going on through his brain is like, if you have every possible material thing you could ever want, the only thing you could strive for is legacy, to be honest. So he's at the point now of no turning back. He really is backed into a corner because if he wins, then he wins. And that sucks for everybody else because effectively the bad guys have won and we are now in an Avengers of Infinity War situation. So, if he wins, that sucks. And now if he loses and the Ukraine goes poorly, there's really nothing to stop him from just going insane and just like, pulling the dead man's cord and just trying to go out with a bang, or trying to pull a North Korea and seeing that people will like succumb to his will because he's the craziest person in the room. That's why it's so terrifying. And it's gonna get ugly, and that's what I've been telling people from the beginning. Like, this has just started. This Ukrainian, what has it been, like a week, 7 days, 8 days? I don't know. It hasn't been very long. And while the Ukrainians have been putting up a good fight, like, it just started. Like, they have just started really shelling the cities. They have just started to starve them out and cut off their power and water and sewer. They're not gonna be able to shit. Like, it's gonna get really bad, and these pictures are gonna start leaking out, and the morale is going to get crushed. I hate to say it. I mean, I know this is a super negative video, but I'm sure the Russians have all sorts of things they're going to do to try and crush the morale, and I don't know. It's not great. So, yeah, that's my synopsis on the whole situation. I personally, that's why I've waited to buy stocks. I didn't buy the original dip in the market when this whole thing first kicked off, because to be honest, guys, I really don't think most people understand like how bad it's gonna get unless the West gets involved. And when the West gets involved, it's gonna hurt our economy as well, because nobody wants another fucking war. Seriously, another war. But I don't know. I don't see there's a way out of this. It's either gonna be a complete humanitarian crisis in Ukraine as they just get starved to death and bombed to oblivion, or the West is going to get involved and we have another war. Knock on wood, hopefully not world war, because now we have like Russia and China and Belarus, and like apparently Russia's get cool with North Korea, which, it's, of course, right? Of course. It's a fucking meme. Anyway, who the fuck knows? Not great.